Today I'm going to tell you two stories that sound so crazy they can't be true, but they absolutely are. But before we get into that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm your host, MrBiggs, coming from the great state of Michigan, the Wolverine state, even though there hasn't been a Wolverine sighting here in over 200 years. Now, I've been telling stories since guys were wearing collared shirts with a little alligator on them. And I'm going to bring you true, scary, mysterious, and sometimes the most outrageous ones you've ever heard on the World Wide Web. Let's get into it. In 1982, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the Almeida family was having some renovations done to their home. And one of the contractors, after a long day, packed up his tools, cleaned up his mess, walked out the family residence, and forgot to close the front door. And when that happened, 8-year-old Lenita arrived home from school, absolutely excited to see her pet, Manuela. Manuela was a red-footed tortoise, about this big. And when she called out to Manuela, Manuela never came. And after searching everywhere, Lenita's father, Lionel, went house to house in the neighborhood, asking everybody if they had seen their tortoise. And nobody had. Now, we've all lost pets to death, and it's absolutely horrible. But to lose a pet that gets out through an open door, it has got to be horrendous. You're always thinking, are they too cold? Are they scared? Are they frightened? It's something that sticks with you forever. But Lenita had managed to get over it, but she never forgot about her beloved Manuela. Now, Lenita would grow up and have children, and she'd tell her daughter Natalie all the stories about Manuela. Now, in 2013, Lenita would unfortunately lose her father, and the grandkids were tasked with cleaning out her dad's house. And Grandpa was a bit of a hoarder, you see. He liked to collect a lot of stuff. And when the grandkids got done with the main floor, they moved up to the attic. They started emptying out the attic. They picked up this big speaker box, hauled it down the steps, out the front lawn, to the road, and chucked it with the rest of the trash that was going to be picked up by the garbage service. And when they did, that speaker box hit the ground. The door popped open, and one of the neighbors that was helping with the cleanup pointed at the speaker box, and he said, "Are you going to throw away that turtle shell?" And Natalie looked down and recognized it as a tortoise shell and instantly knew the fate of Manuela. Manuela never walked out the front door. She wandered into this speaker box, and the grandpa, the father, remember, closed the door, picked up that speaker box, and loaded it into his attic, where Manuela would remain for the next 30 years. And when Natalie bent down and picked up the shell, she knew she immediately had to call her mother, because as she's staring at this tortoise shell, there are two eyes staring back at her. Manuela was alive. It would turn out the speaker box was infested with termites and termite larvae that would allow Manuela to live that long in complete darkness. Now, Lenita, absolutely ecstatic being reunited with her pet tortoise, made a vet appointment to make sure that everything was okay with Manuela. The vet came back with one problem. That problem was Manuela was actually Manuel. But Manuel is alive and well to this day. It was 4:20 in the morning, July 10th, 1943. This is World War II, and a group of U.S. soldiers found themselves dug deep down into a trench under relentless machine gun fire from a pillbox. A pillbox is a cement structure that soldiers can fire through with absolutely minimal risk to themselves. As the soldiers in the trench looked at each other in complete despair, the soldier on the end knew if he didn't react, they were all done for. And right as that soldier decided to dart out of the trench because his goal was to flank the enemy, the soldiers in the trench were screaming at him, "No, don't go!" But he went anyway. They knew he was running into certain death. He was going to come in from the enemy's blind spot, and all of a sudden, the machine gun fire stopped. He had reached the pillbox and literally ripped the machine gun clean off of its mount. And as the U.S. soldiers come out of the trench, guns drawn, they're looking at the pillbox. Now the firing is coming from within the pillbox. They see flashes of light. They hear screams of desperation. And all of a sudden, it went silent. And out comes this U.S. soldier, dragging one of the Italian forces by the throat, bleeding from his head because he had been shot in the head, dragging him out with such authority. The three other Italian forces are coming out with their hands in the air, surrendering. But then all of a sudden, the U.S. soldiers are screaming at the other U.S. soldier to don't do it, drop him. You see, this other U.S. soldier, whose name was Chips, was a German Shepherd Husky mix that just took over the pillbox with 4 Italian forces inside of it. Now Chips, while he was shot in the head, thankfully it only grazed him right down to the bone. He was quickly patched up, sent out later that night, where he would capture 10 additional Italian forces. Now Chips was awarded the Purple Heart, the Distinguished Service Medal, along with the Silver Star, which was quickly taken away by the Army because he didn't hold any official rank like Sergeant Stubby or Sergeant Reckless. But in 2018, he was posthumously awarded the PDSA Dickin Medal, along with 2019 Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery. Now you know the story of Chips, one of the toughest war dogs in history. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the stories as much as I enjoyed researching and writing them. The only thing I didn't enjoy was the editing process. If you liked what you heard, please hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, let me know what you thought. Till next time.